Howdy, folks. I'm the horrible, hegemonic, hedonist, harlot, Harold, who's a hamster.
I'm Amber.
And here's some hamster wheels. I don't really know where to go from there. Alright, folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for trying to get my 91-year-old grandmother to get some more variety and nutrition in her diet when it's my week to take care of her? I'm using a throwaway. I have been away from my Midwestern suburb for a number of years. I am taking a professional sabbatical this year and have rented a house at my home. My grandmother is 91 and absolutely insists upon living alone, so several relatives have a schedule of 3 or 4 days where they make sure that she is fed, clean, the heat is on, etc. I was happy to volunteer to be worked in. I was horrified to learn that all she eats is frozen fish sticks, Reese's Cups, and Sprite. That's it. 3 meals a day. That's all she eats. I'm not a doctor, nor am I a nutritionist, but my job requires me to be physically active, and I know a human body can't live on processed fish and candy. I told her that we had to do something about this. She told me to let her live her life, and if she passed from the food, she's okay with that. I made her a really nutritious meal, and instead of being appreciative, she refused to eat. In fact, she didn't eat for the entire 3 days that I watched her. It was like dealing with a petulant child. I dug in my heels, and so did she. My mom was taking over this morning, and the text group that we used to exchange and schedule literally exploded, and everyone thinks that I'm a jerk because I didn't feed her. I tried to explain that no, she made a choice not to eat. The basic point was that she's 91 and she can eat whatever she wants, and they have no idea how hard they worked to find food that she would eat at all. I said what I thought, and it looked like a cascading wall of texts from my 6 relatives calling me essentially a jerk. I guess I may be fired. Am I the jerk here? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Yes, you're the jerk. You starved your grandmother. You're taking someone who is in a vulnerable position and can't prepare food for themselves and trying to force her into eating something that she doesn't want to eat because you think it's best.
Yeah, I mean, I think, OP, you had the best of intentions, but the worst possible execution. And by worst possible execution, I mean the worst possible execution.
Like, your family is right. Your grandmother is an adult. She can make her own choices about her foods. And you say she acted like a petulant child. No, you're treating her like a child.
Yeah, well, and you also acted like a petulant child, too. Did you ask your grandmother what she wanted to eat? Did you offer to make her homemade fish sticks or some other food that she was willing to eat? You can't just expect someone to change their palate on the drop of a dime. If they're used to eating a certain food, then that's what they want to eat and what they're used to.
And she's 91 years old. Like, she probably doesn't have a ton of time left. She just wants to enjoy her life. It's not like you have to worry too much about nutrition at that point in time.
Yeah, I mean, things are going to run their course as they will. She may live to be 95, and the thing is that if she's not enjoying the food that she eats, then she's going to have a worse existence for it.
Yeah, and if she doesn't eat at all because she doesn't like it, like, it seems like she's fine not eating if it's not what she wants. And so don't starve people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people should do this to children either, forcing them to eat. It's fine to, like, ask kids to try things, but I, like, think the whole, like, you eat this or you go to bed hungry is very bad. And, like, doing this to an adult is even worse.
Yeah, and there's another common theme with these foods that she's picked is that they're very soft foods. They're foods that are probably easy to digest for her. So she may have trouble eating other foods, and that's why it may have even been a necessity for her not to eat those other foods that you prepared. And it really just depends on what you decided to prepare for her. And again, like, you could have made her the fish sticks, but then you could have also made her some side dish as well, right? There wasn't anything to say that you couldn't.
As long as you were okay with her not eating it.
Yeah, as long as you were okay with her not eating it, just at least to give her the option. So, anyhow, take care and good luck. And Agitated Buddy 9787 says, You're the jerk, you starved your elderly grandmother for 3 days because she wouldn't do things your way. How is starving someone better than not letting them eat at all? You abused your grandmother. the mental gymnastics you're doing here to convince yourself that you're the good guy must be exhausting.
Well, that's the thing is like, yeah, you'd say you're all concerned because she's not getting enough nutrition, but you literally refuse to give her any nutrition if it's not yours. And that, I think, is a big problem.
Oh, yeah, I agree completely. All right, folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Outright Mentioning Pumping in My Do Not Disturb sign? Throw away, and I'm typing this out on my phone while pumping, so please excuse any typos. I'm a nursing mom, and I'm fortunate enough to have my own office. Initially, when I returned to work, I would just close my door and put up a sign asking people to return in 15 minutes. Unfortunately, I'd still have people banging on the door every few minutes or trying to talk to me through the door, or even jiggling the handle and asking if I could just whatever. My word that I needed 15 minutes undisturbed wasn't enough, and it made my pumping sessions really stressful. And anyone who's ever pumped knows that the stress can really mess up the pumping and make it less efficient. So I amended the sign to say, pumping, please return in 15 minutes. That cut down on the disturbances, but apparently now a couple of coworkers have complained that it's too much information and making them uncomfortable. Am I the jerk for outright announcing when I'm pumping? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. You tried to just say don't disturb, and your coworkers had zero respect for you. So you just told them why you need to not be disturbed. Like, if they can't take, they should just take your word for it anyway. But now they're like, oh, this is too much information. Like, you asked for it.
So I think that your coworkers kind of lost the point when they were making you uncomfortable and they didn't respect that, and now you're making them uncomfortable with a very reasonable request. So I think that they just don't see the hypocrisy here where they were making you uncomfortable. They were making your pumping sessions much more stressful than they needed to be, and they just didn't respect a very reasonable boundary.
Oh, and it's just like a normal bodily function too. Like, yeah, maybe you don't usually have to put up a note saying, sorry, I'm peeing, but like we know that's what the bathroom's for.
Yeah.
So like, it's just like any other bodily function. It's not anything to be like, ew, gross, I'm so uncomfortable and upset.
Yeah, I think that they're taking this way too personally. Anyhow, take care and good luck. And Wish I Was Home says, not the jerk, I'm not understanding why they can read the pumping sign, but not the do not disturb sign.
Yeah.
And OP replies, I'm sure they did read it. They just ignored it. I guess it's harder to ignore when it makes you think about boobs. Alright, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for wanting my birthday gifts to be wrapped nicely? I'm a 24-year-old female, and my boyfriend, who is a 27-year-old male, are arguing because I told him I did not like how my gifts were wrapped. The gifts themselves were great. He got me everything that I wanted and then some, but they were wrapped horribly. Some were super baggy, and some had the gift poking out. When I saw how they looked, I guess I looked or acted disappointed, and I could tell that he was upset. He has carpal tunnel, so it's kind of difficult for him to use his hands, but he is able to do most things perfectly fine. I told him that it wasn't a big deal, but I would have liked for them to have looked nice. He said that I know he can't use his hands very well, and I said that he could have asked someone else to do it. When I said that, he flipped out and said that he thought I would appreciate him taking the time and effort to wrap them, knowing that he is in constant pain, and he said that he wanted to try and be independent. I told him that I would have preferred if someone else had done it, but I appreciate that he did try. I have pre-arthritis myself, and my grandmother just developed it, and it's in the family. I told him that I know what he is going through, and that A, is not that difficult, and it doesn't require fine motor skills to wrap a gift, and B, if it was, I would have asked someone else to do it. I can tell that he's upset, but I don't think that my feelings are wrong. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Yes, you're the jerk on so many levels here. I mean, first of all, it sounds like your family has a family history of arthritis, so you do not understand his pain.
Yeah.
And then, secondly, like, he has a disability. He tried to do something, and he wants to be able to do things independently. He got you gifts from the heart. He got you everything you wanted, and you're hung up on the wrapping job.
I think that this is really unfortunate. I think OP is focusing on the wrong thing. And I know that they say they have pre-arthritis, and maybe they do have some level of pain. But again, pain isn't a competition, and pain is pretty relative. So something that might not be so bad for you, OP, might be intolerable for another person. And that's just the way pain goes. You aren't the arbiter of how much pain someone should or shouldn't be feeling at any given time. And the fact that you think you can tell your boyfriend how they should be feeling is a pretty terrible telling thing here. And also, just because something is easier for you doesn't necessarily mean it's easier for somebody else, and somebody might find one type of skill harder to perform than another type of skill.
And people have all different levels of motor functioning. So just because you feel like it's really, like kind of going off of what you were saying, just because you feel like it's really easy to wrap a gift, it may be much harder with your boyfriend's motor coordination and his pain. And I do think it's really not okay for you to be like, well, it's easy. It doesn't take that much fine motor coordination, because lots of us aren't very good at wrapping things.
Yeah. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And 32U 8I sAdJK says, you must be so bored to nitpick at something as stupid as this. You're the jerk. And Pompey Lulu says, can we get a double you're the jerk? She knows what he's going through because her grandmother has arthritis, so she has pre-arthritis? Like, are you freaking kidding me? I have issues with my joint, actual issues, and struggle with buttons. My dad is missing a finger and has 2 others that don't function, meaning he just can't do his buttons. I would never dream of saying that I know how he feels because sometimes I find it challenging. Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got a beverage of choice right here, and Amber has a book of choice over there.
We've got a nice Valentine's one for you today. What do you call 2 birds in love?
Well, you call 2 birds in love lovebirds.
You could. You could also call them tweethearts.
Oh, tweethearts. I suppose you could. And I have licorice spice. I was like, I wonder if I can come up with any kind of like weird story about that. But I was like, I don't know. There's really just not anything to work off of there. It's like 2 birds in love. You can call 2 birds in love. It depends on the circumstances under which they met. Maybe they were 2 birds trapped on a deserted island with no one around, no one for miles. And their love over the years, they went from friends, from enemies to friends to lovers type of situation where they were like constantly like fighting each other at the beginning of their stay on the island. And then they realized that if they worked together and try to actually accomplish common goals together, that they would actually like start to succeed in surviving, and it made things a lot easier for them while they were trapped on this island.
Are they penguins?
They are penguins. They are penguins. And so these 2 penguins, they realized that their skills were complementary of each other. They were like, well, I'm really good at cutting wood, and the other penguin was really good at fishing. And so they worked together. They built themselves a nice little island home with plenty of fish. And then they realized that, wow, the things that they thought that they really hated about each other, they actually really loved. And so in the end, the 2 penguins, they fell in love, and despite their seclusion, lived a happily ever after life.
So I was wondering at first why they didn't just fly off the island.
Well, because, I mean, some birds just can't fly very far.
Well, yeah, but like...
But I mean...
That's why I asked if they were penguins, because
Yeah.
penguins are flightless.
Yeah, but they could have invented a penguin helicopter to escape off the island. In fact, at one point in time, they had built a raft and like a helicopter type thing, and they were debating leaving the island, but then they realized that they were actually happy there. So, they didn't. They just stayed there. True story. True story. Did I say I had licorice spice?
I have
and
no
I have
idea.
licorice spice.
I think you get too invested in the penguins and their love story.
All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Happy Friday! We've missed every single day this week. We were supposed to say Happy Friday Junior yesterday. We were supposed to say Happy Hump Day on Wednesday.
Well, technically it's Friday Junior for us today.
Yeah, it's Friday Junior for us today. We were supposed to say Happy Tuesday with a TWO on 2 for the second day. And Happy Monday? I don't remember what we say. Oh, Manic Mondays. That's what we say for Mondays. So, yeah, you've gotten caught up for the rest of the week. Thanks so much for watching. What is the moral of the story today? Pick one story. Okay, one moral.
I'm going to go with the first one. Don't starve your grandma.
Don't starve your grandmother is a great moral. Please do not starve your grandmother, and don't starve other people, too.
Yes.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Howdy, folks. I'm the horrible... Howdy, folks. I'm the horrible Howdy, folks. I'm the horrible hegemonic. Horrible hegemonic. Howdy, folks. I'm the horrible hegemonic hedonist. I'm gonna have a horrible time with this one. Why have I done this to myself?
I know. You should just go with hamster.
Howdy, folks. I'm the horrible hegemonic. Howdy, folks. I'm the horrible hegemonic.
One, yeah, talk to you later.
Alright, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Wanting My Birthday Gibbs? Throwaway account. I have been away from my Midwestern suburb for another... It's gonna be one of those days, eh? Brian says as he breathes in licorice spiced tea into his lungs and slowly drowns himself. Whether it was on purpose or not, no one will ever really know.
Please don't drown yourself.